a time there was a mom. Her name was Mrs. Troy-handed dog. Sitting on her nest, you heard her scratch. Oh boy, my eggs are hatching.
Why is the Cryolophosaurus Elvis? Anyways, hello YouTube. It's the Fossil Lounge here with another video. Today I'll be reviewing dinosaur cartoons for your nostalgia. Now, as you saw in the intro, we're starting off with Dinosaur Train. Dinosaur Train is one of those shows that sticks with you, especially as a kid growing up in the late 2000s and early 2010s. It's a part of the reason I'm here making dinosaur content today. This show was definitely questionable, but also had some wholesome and informational moments as well. Now, what made it so good? Let's find out. Now, I think it's best to look at the cast. We have Mom, Dad. Yes, that's right. That's their actual names. There's no actual names for them. Don, Tiny, and Shiny. And of course, Buddy. Now, Don was the kind of slow, funny one. Tiny was the curious and persevering one. And Shiny was the blue one. Buddy was the T-Rex. Very different personalities and names. I think multiple different main characters made it so children could project themselves onto specific characters subconsciously. Or not, who knows. Then there was the Troodon conductor who wore clothes in the wrong areas. For some reason he always wore clothes on the top part of his body but not the bottom, and as a kid it kind of made me feel weird, but that's besides the point. Anyways, there were lots of dinosaurs I ended up loving because of this show, like Cryolophosaurus, Giganotosaurus, and Displetosaurus, and more. It was also really satisfying when they punched tickets and went to different time periods. As a kid, that was the coolest thing to see. Also, for a Dino TV show, they got a surprising amount of facts and info right. Usually it isn't so accurate in other cartoons. But quick subject change, how did Buddy even end up in the nest? Like, if anyone knows that lore, tell me in the comments, because it makes no sense. Overall, I'd give Dinosaur Train an 8.5 out of 10. I think it made a lot of kids want to be educated on paleontology rather than just being into it for a shock and cool factor. We also can't forget Dr. Scott the paleontologist. Also, was I the only kid that got scared by this?
The Dinosaur Train.
Watch out, cause they're right next door. The past is in the present. Time is twisting upside down. These fossils are colossal. And only one can wear the crown.
Dinosaur King. Man. This was the first show I ever watched that was an anime. Can we talk about how revolutionary this was? Now, I know what some of you might be thinking.
It's just a combination of Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Digimon.
We do not care.
And it pulled it off superbly. The fight scenes are fire as hell. The special attacks actually change consistently. And though the character tropes are pretty basic, the D-Team feels like they have a real connection to each other. The villains are basically Team Rocket, but with more people and more empathetic. The Alpha Trio doesn't really feel threatening, but they actually do win some of the encounters against the D-Team. And hey, that's more than what Team Rocket ever does. There's also these grandkids who are better than fully grown adults at using dinosaurs to fight. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, the show doesn't make much sense when you look at how some dinosaurs would almost certainly beat others. For example, Spike being able to beat Terry. By the way, Spike is the Triceratops and Terry's the T-Rex, which is questionable. I do think the premise of cards being in areas around the world from millions of years ago is pretty interesting. And seeing which group can get to them first makes it very anxiety-inducing. Me personally, my favorite characters were Rex. He was basically the Sasuke of the group before Sasuke hit puberty. I mean, just look at this.
Dino Slash! Carnotaurus, blow him away!
Now, if that isn't aura, if that isn't hard, I don't know what is. But anyways, another favorite character of mine was Dr. Reese for, reasons.
I love my dinosaur, but when I look into your eyes, I think I love you more. like Jurassic Valentine.
And I thought Ursula was annoying, but her trope worked as self-deprecating humor, unlike a lot of other characters in fiction.
Listen here! You obviously need to learn the difference between old and experienced!
Oh, sorry, I guess I thought they meant the same thing.
Really? Well, there's a big difference!
That's what you think, old lady!
You make it very hard for me to be nice!
Anyways, as a kid, I didn't really like the last parts of the show. The armor was a bit much, but the ending with all the dinosaurs versus the black T-Rex was pretty awesome. Overall, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's very solid for a dino battle action anime. I think it did its job well, even though the CGI was sometimes off looking back then. Let's watch this, just watch this. I'm not gonna sing along, I don't know the intro lyrics.
Away, I went to visit for a day. Got covered with some gooey ooze that changed my DNA.
They got covered with some gooey ooze that changed my DNA.
Pause! What is that?
Listen, I don't know what that is, don't ask me. I think I know what it is, but I don't want to talk about it. This channel's PG-13, so we're not gonna talk about that, but if you know, you know.
Give us stuff that works, and I'll bring you back a balloon.
What pulled his prehistoric tail?
Don't ask me why I put this video in out of context. Anyways, this show is called Dino Squad. Now, before you guys say anything about how you don't know what this is, I understand. I watched this show when I was like 9 years old and thought the transformations were fire. I didn't really care for the characters much or remember the lore, or even the opening, but I'll try to give you a ChatGPT synopsis about it. Dino Squad is an early 2000s animated show about 4 teenagers who gain dinosaur powers after being exposed to mysterious ooze. The ooze changes their DNA and gives them the ability to transform into dinosaur warriors with unique powers to fight evil forces, protect the world, and deal with kinds of dinos and villains along the way. I meant to say all kinds of. So according to ChatGPT, it's basically teen heroes plus dinos plus sci-fi plus chaos energy. I'll tell you guys what each teen transforms into and then move on to the next show, or the last show rather. Basically, Max turns into a T-Rex, Caruso turns into a Stegosaurus, Fiona morphs into a Spinosaurus, Roger turns into a Styracosaurus, and Buzz turned into a Pteranodon. Also, why does Buzz look like the one dude from Streets of Rage? Okay, I had to correct myself. It was not, I was thinking of, I think his name is Zan. This is off topic, let me get back to the point. So, yeah, he looks like the NPC from Streets of Rage, I think it's Streets of Rage 3. But yeah, anyways, and then there's Miss Moynihan, I think that's how you say it, I don't know. Which is their teacher and like guider, and I guess she's secretly a velociraptor. Anyways, there's not much else to say about this cartoon since it's relatively linear. And I know a lot of people won't really know what it is. But overall, if you're 7 to 9 years old, you'll love this cartoon. Overall, a 6 out of 10.
Denver the Last Dinosaur. He's my friend and a whole lot more. Denver the Last Dinosaur. Shows me a world I never saw before.
So I'll be honest, I didn't like this show as a kid. I know a lot of 80s kids might hate me for saying it, but I didn't really feel like it was giving me what I was looking for in a show about, well, a dinosaur. Since this show takes place in Colorado, I actually have a theory though. What if the events of this show are all just an acid trip? I mean, think about it. Look at these visuals and tell me there isn't more to the story. I'm just saying. But let me get back on topic. Denver isn't exactly
paleo accurate,
so I dislike the show. That's all. No, I'm just playing, guys. But what I always thought was weird is how the lyrics say, "He shows me a world I never saw before." What exactly do you mean by that? That's why I'm just a bit skeptical about it, but I will say bro has crazy amounts of aura. If Denver isn't a hallucination or drug dealer, then he is 100% the coolest dino in all of pop culture. Sorry, Rexy. Overall, the show is a 6.5 out of 10. Denver carries the show, so there isn't much else to go over. Let me know in the comments if you think Denver is real though, because I'm not so sure. And that is all for the cartoons for today, guys. This was a pretty fun video to make and it definitely gave me some nostalgia. If you guys have any other cartoons in mind, or if you want more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time at the Fossil Lounge.